$1,000 XRP, you'd have 600,000. Don't tell people how much you have. They can do the math. So, you know, everybody's investing all that they can at whatever their discretionary income is. I think that that's the best way to go about it. Again, I don't want you to put yourself in a position where you can't pay your bills or you're over leveraged or it causes other financial frictions in your life. I don't think that that's healthy or a good choice. But this is a good way for people to get out of a situation or be able to retire someday in the not too distant future, in the next 5 years, like you're talking about here. I think that it could be $50,000 by the end of Trump's term. I've talked about that on a previous podcast and people lost their minds. 2028, $50,000 XRP. Yeah, derivatives. If we get the derivatives market for XRP, $50,000. For sure. That's going to take time. There's got to be things that happen between now and then. There are other catalysts. There's a huge adoption curve that has to happen. Ripple has to be extremely successful. Codius has to launch. There's a lot of things that have to happen between now and then, but I do think they will, and I do think it'll be $50,000 at the end of Trump's term in 2028. And you would have, your $30 million at that point. And we would love to work with you if that is the case. But until, our minimum is likely going to go to 1.1 million post price appreciation. And maybe even a little bit higher in that in the short term, just to be able to onboard everybody. Because we got to scale operations, systems, people, got to train people. People want to deal with people, right? And a lot of people, I would say that we have a portal where people can onboard themselves, but people want to talk to somebody, especially with all the crazy stuff that's happened in this asset class. Like, that makes sense. You would want somebody you can reach out to and have a conversation with and know that things are legit and secure. And that's why we do all the in-person events that we do. That's why you get assigned an advisor. And we want to make sure that we're able to continue providing all of those solutions and benefits at scale. So as things, roll here, it is going to take a lot of stuff in order to be able to meet the demand that I know that we're going to have, especially when we roll out this yield product for people. I think a lot of you are going to be really excited about what we got cooking. I wish I could say more. Hopefully we get some things across the line here in the next week or two, and I can put it out publicly what's going on. We've got Cody Stokes. He says, people with less than 1,000 XRP can't really prepare in the same way as the wealthy who have their small bags in a cold wallet. What do they do post price appreciation? Sit on your hands. If you don't have enough money in there to change your life and really affect your life in a meaningful way, and you are willing to wait it out, you will be rewarded. Many people have been here for 5+ years, 6, 7, 8 years, some of us. And those people will be well rewarded because they continued to dollar cost average over the last 5-6 years and continued to buy and stack while they could, what extra income they had. They sacrificed things. They put themselves in a position to be able to capitalize on this. If you're new and you've bought in just recently at the higher price point, you're still going to be able to do very well, but you're also going to have an extended time frame and period of time that you have to wait in order to be able to, achieve the level of wealth that a lot of people want to in order to be able to retire off of crypto. If you got to $1,000 times 1,000 XRP, that's $1 million. That's life-changing for some people, but you can't really retire on that today, unfortunately. Maybe if you're like 90 years old, you could retire on $1 million. But if you're younger, even at 70, you're probably going to need 3, 4, 5 million just to make sure that you have enough to produce income for yourself without touching the principal. Or even if you're going to sell off the principal over that period of time before you pass away, you could live another 20 years. You could live another 30 years if you're 70 years old. So, $1 million used to be a lot of money back in the 90s. Today, there are a lot of people that are millionaires in the US, and good for them. They made an investment either in a home or their job or other things, and they've been able to position themselves well, but it's not what it used to be. You really need probably $10 million to retire comfortably today. And so for that, you're going to need a $10,000 XRP, which I think will happen by the end of 2027, maybe sooner, maybe 26. Again, depends on derivatives and adoption across all markets and all these other things. But at that point, now you got your 10 million. And if you're earning 5% on that, that's $500,000 a year. Like, that's enough for most people to live pretty comfortable. If you're in California, if you're in New York, maybe not. But if you're in the majority of the US, Vegas is a little expensive here. Miami's a little expensive. Dallas, you can live very comfortably on $500,000 a year if you want to come move down by me.